Hello everyone, Howard from HHC Review here. Today I'm taking a look at two Yachtmaster, the latest model, reference number 126622. And for this reference model, essentially there are two different dial color. The slate on the left, which is a gray color, and the blue. So Yachtmaster was originally designed to replace the Submariner, but in the end, actually stayed as its own. I personally really like the Yachtmaster, but for whatever reason, it's never loved by the Rolex or the mark in general. It's sort of like the forgotten child or stepkid. Because Submariner obviously is perhaps the most recognizable Rolex watches. It's the most popular. Everyone wants a sub, and the sub also have a lot of different, colors and size with date window, no date window, a lot of choices. But as I did my last video, sub is very difficult to get, just like any other sports model from Rolex, or impossible to get almost, unless you're such a big spender and special relationship with the ADs. And the secondary market obviously is marked up more. So for that reason, I think the Yachtmaster could be an alternative. They essentially have the same functionality, right? It's just designed differently. The sub with a signature black dial and the black, bezel for the base models and other colors. It's hallmark. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows it's a sub. The Yachtmaster is obviously a lot more dressy, a lot more, I would say a little bit more finer looking. And the key difference is also the Yachtmaster has a platinum bezel. So this bezel here, it's a very nice bi-directional 60-minute bezel. It's actually made of platinum. So as a result, this Yachtmaster is more expensive than the regular sub. Well, we talk about price a little bit later, but overall, when I look at these, I think it's really beautiful watch, especially when I'm comparing the two, the slate versus the blue. They're both really beautiful. I personally like the gray a lot because blue is obviously a lot more common in a lot of different watches, especially blue color has become, the most popular color last few years. Now, looks like green has sort of taken over. The fact that Patek, canceled the discontinued the blue 5711 and introduced the green, signals that direction as well. So if you don't have any blue dark watch collection, maybe a blue one looks great to add to your collection. But if you already had a dark or blue watches, black dial, blue dial, the slate or gray, it looks absolutely stunning. It's got that reflective coating, under the sunlight will be extremely beautiful. Even on the regular light, you can already see the lights reflecting off. And that little touch of light blue sweeping second hand and the Yachtmaster wording in that little light blue, it just adds so much pop, right? The blue with the red is also very, very beautiful, but I just don't think it's as unique as the slate or gray color. Everything else, these two watches are the same as the latest Submariner. For example, the movement is the 32-35, power reserve 70 hours, 300-meter waterproof or 1,000 feet. So the basic specs is the same as the sub. The only difference I believe is the latest sub is a little bit thicker. I think they're 12 millimeter thicker. This, if I recall correctly, it's more around 11.5, tiny bit of thinner. But overall, if sub looks a little bit too sporty, you like to have something that's a little bit more dressy, a little bit more, maybe for some of the finer events, some of the cocktail parties, you want to dress up a little bit. I think this Slate one looks absolutely stunning. I mean, blue one's beautiful as well, don't get me wrong. The crown, 3 dots, locking, everything else is the same. The oyster, that's one thing, as I mentioned in every one of my videos, especially for the GMTs, I had quite a few GMT videos. I'm not the biggest fan of the polished center link for the 3-link oyster design. The Submariner generally have the matte finish for all of them, all links. But this one, in theory, is for you to work on a yacht or sailboat. You're going to get wet type of things. I think it would have been nice to offer the same kind of non-polished, nickel finish like the outer links here. The polish just gets too much, too easy to get scratched up, and sure, you can clean that off. Maybe, you like that little bit bling, a little bit shininess, it's all good. But overall, I like the matte finish on the bracelet. Let's put on the wrist. 40 millimeters, again, it's good size. I have a smaller wrist, you guys know, 6.5 inches, 16.5 centimeters. Doesn't look too big at all. I mean, to me, personal preference is 40. I wouldn't go any bigger than 40. 41 will look a little bit bigger. That's absolutely upper limit, but 40 is what I prefer. 40 or smaller for a smaller wrist, 16.5 centimeters or 6.5 inches. Side profile looks good as the lock kind of tapered down. Very nice, very, very beautiful. These bracelets are obviously super, super comfortable. Take a look at the blue one. Certainly adds a little bit more color, that's for sure. The Slate one, gray one's a little bit more muted, but blue, man, what a nice, beautiful blue color with a red. So either one, you can't go wrong with either one of these. They're both very, very nice, very, very beautiful. Now, here's the price part. Why did I say earlier, maybe this is a slightly better value in the secondary market? Again, you can't get these from AD. Even this is less popular than the sub. It's the same situation. You almost never get these when they have one. They always sell it to their best customers, and I totally get that. So the retail price on these is $12,000 in the US right now, because remember the bezel, this bezel is made of platinum, so it's not stainless steel bezel. So that's why the price is almost $3,000 more than the regular sub. The regular sub, 41 millimeter, 126610LN, the latest 41 millimeter, the MSRP US price is $9,150 plus sales tax. So almost $3,000 more. That's the MSRP retail. But on the secondary market, they're very close. The Submariner, a new one on the secondary market, is about $16,000. And these are pretty much the same. So the blue one is a little bit cheaper than the gray one. The blue one, a brand new on the secondary market, not used, just secondary market resellers, $16,000. Almost, it's the same as the sub. And the Slate one is a little bit more expensive, around $17,000, so $1,000 more. So in terms of the markup, right, sub it go from $9,000 to $16,000. These go from $12,000 to $16,000 to $17,000. Sure, it's still a 25 to 30% markup, but it's not as much as the Submariner. And if you're looking for something a little bit more dressy, certainly these are great alternatives, and they're probably a little bit easier to get as well. All right, so that's it for today. The Yacht-master 40 millimeter 126622 in Slate dial and the blue dial. If you like the video, please consider subscribing and click the notification button. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.